Podcast, a podcast for sewists by sewists. I'm your host, Bethany.
And I'm Audra. And today we are joined by an incredible sewist, an incredible creator, and a wonderful educator on all social media platforms, Missy Luukkonen, also known as the Little Green Bean.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
We're so thrilled. I mean, we're excited because not only are we getting to chat with you, but you're our very first guest on our podcast. So we're really thrilled to have you on and take some time to get to know you a little better. And I know we have so much to talk about. We have so much to talk about.
I think we could talk all day.
We really could. I mean, we do in our DMs already. So,
we do.
But we always like to kick off our episodes with a little icebreaker. So if you don't mind, we'd love for you to answer our icebreaker question as well. And for our listeners, we'd love for you to answer our icebreaker question over in our Facebook group, The Social Sewist. But today's icebreaker question is, what's the longest you've ever worked on a sewing project without stopping, other than like a little snack break, potty break, those kind of things, like start to finish? It's a tricky one.
Like you finished the whole project?
Or no, you didn't necessarily finish the project, but
you
the longest amount of time you kept going. Yeah.
I would say easily 12 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mine is 13. I timed it one time because I had to get it done in the one day. And it was 13 hours start to finish in one Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
Because I had to pack it up in my suitcase the next day, because that's how we do things. Audra, what about you? Do you know?
I don't know if I've gone the full 12. I know I've done like a solid 10.
Yeah.
Because there's been just something I had to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I could say a solid 10.
Yeah. It's fun. I mean, I don't mind the long stretches, but mine usually don't start till like around lunchtime anyways. So mine usually go into like the wee hours of the morning because I'm a night owl. So that's the only thing about me, is if I'm committing to that start and I have to get it done, I'm going to be up all night. So.
And this is, again, the compare and contrast between us. If I've got to get something done, I'm up and sewing at 8 because I want to be done in the evening.
Same. If like once 8 p.m. rolls around, then I start making mistakes and screwing things up and I'm done. I'm just done.
I make mistakes if I start too early. My brain is not firing on all cylinders yet.
Does not compute.
I used to be such a night owl and I'm not anymore. Now it's like I barely make it to 10 o'clock every night.
How do you, this is off subject, but we're going to go there. How do you transition to that? Because I keep talking about this. I really want to be a morning person. I just don't know how to turn my brain off to go to bed at a decent hour. I really don't. I have to be so tired.
I didn't
to
do
go
it
to
on
bed
purpose.
before 10.
It just happened. It just happened as I got older. And
okay.
Yeah. I didn't try to, because I've always also wanted to be a morning person. And I don't know that I'd say I'm necessarily a morning person. I don't like to get up at the crack of dawn. You know, I like my sleep a lot.
I love sleep.
I
love sleep.
Yeah, it's the best. Like, I can't wait to go to bed every night. And I drink this cocoa before bed every night. And I drink my cocoa and then I go to bed and it's just like wonderful. And then in the morning, I just don't want to get up.
Yeah, for me, it's getting up because I sleep with like a lot of covers, but I turn the air down. I have the fan on, so it's like chilly. So I don't want to get out from under the warm covers, and I've got my dog snuggling with me, and it's just like, it's so cozy. I don't want to get up. So it's a slow roll in the morning for me. But yeah, it's a struggle. All right, so we're gonna dive into chatting with you. I mean, you have so many fun things going on, but I have a question to kind of get things started, and this is something I've always wondered that I've never asked you.
Okay,
but
and I'm an open book, so
I know. I love that about you. Where did the name The Little Green Bean come from? Because I don't know, and there might be some people listening who don't. Audra probably knows.
I know.
She's raising her hand.
I'm going to let her tell it.
Listening.
So, I mean, this was, oh my gosh, I'm thinking like 2009, 2008. I always dabbled in all things creative, crafty, like never just one thing. I mean, I used to do craft shows doing hand-painted wood crafts where I'd cut them out on my scroll saw and then paint all the little primitive detail, all the things. This is late 90s I'm talking. I mean, And and back then I was still a night owl, and I would stay up all night prepping for the show. Like I would still be painting at 4 a.m. and then packing things up and pricing. So I used to be able to do it. But anyway, so Little Green Bean, like I've always dabbled in things. And at that time, I was using recycled burlap. I don't even know how I got into but the burlap thing was big for a really, really long time. And we had a coffee roaster in town where we could go get the burlap sacks for free. And sometimes they would be really cool prints and designs from all over the world, wherever they're getting their coffee beans from. And so I was constantly going down there and picking up these coffee sacks. And at the time I needed a name. I didn't know what I was doing yet. I didn't have my Etsy shop set up yet. I just needed a business name. And I knew I wanted it to revolve around coffee and coffee beans, but I didn't want it to sound like a coffee shop. And so Mike and I were in the car driving home from somewhere, and we were just tossing around ideas. And, we kept, between the two of us, we came up with the Little Green Bean. Like, there's no big thing. Like, it was just us bouncing ideas off of each other. But coffee beans, when they are in the bag before they're roasted, are green. They're like an olivey green color. So with that, that's just how we came up with it. And it has stuck all these years.
Well, I didn't know. I never knew that story, so I'm glad to learn that. I didn't know if it was just like you really like green beans, the vegetable. And I was just like, I don't know.
Nope, has nothing to do with the vegetable.
I
do really like green beans, though.
I mean, who doesn't, right? They're so good. But no, that's really, and then I did not know that you did like woodworking and stuff too. I feel like you and I have pretty similar journeys, and because I used to do a lot of that as well, and craft shows, and it's an evolution. So besides the scroll work and the woodworking, and the burlap and doing all of that, like what other crafts? I'm kind of curious, like what other crafts? I know you did gnomes, but what other crafts have you done that have led you, like the evolution that has led you to what you're doing now?
Well, when I started with the burlap, it was tote bags. That's what I was making. So I am not a good patient. Like when I am sick or recovering from surgery, I get real bored, real fast. Like I can't just sit and binge a good Netflix. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a good Netflix show, but I need something to do. Like my hands are just, they can't sit still. Even now, like I'm usually sitting on the couch embroidering something or doing something. And so I was recovering from a surgery, and Mike had built me a table. I had knee surgery, so my right leg was immobile. And so he had built me a table that would roll up over the recliner when it was reclined so that I could pull it up to me. And then I had a sewing machine that had a button instead of a presser foot. So I could still sit and sew. And I was making all of these tote bags with the burlap. And I did a craft show with the tote bags, and I did pretty well. But then I had some left over, and I didn't know what I was going to do with them. So that's when I decided I will just put them on Etsy. Again, this is 2009 that we started all of this. And this was in the fall. And then we rolled into Christmas season, and I thought, well, I think I'll make some Christmas stockings out of burlap. And those were turning out really cute, and so I was making stockings, and then I had a customer ask me if I could make her a matching tree skirt to go with the stockings. And I'd never made a tree skirt before, but I said, sure, I'll try it. And then the tree skirts were what really ended up being a huge thing for my business. Started to really take me down the path of, where I am right now. They were all made out of recycled coffee bean bags, but I would add, I would make like ruffles for the edges out of muslin or different, cottons and things like that. So I would make ruffles, and then I started doing all this applique work out of recycled sweaters onto the tree skirt. The one with the mittens, if you ever saw it, that was by far my most popular one for many, many years. I was making so many of that mitten skirt. So I would collect sweaters from thrift stores and garage sales all year round, and then I would applique these mittens onto the tree skirt. And yeah, it was just an evolution of tree skirts and stockings and all of this stuff.
And did you know how to sew? Like, were you learning to sew as you went, or did you learn to sew at a younger age?
I learned to sew at a younger age. I learned, my grandma had one of those old treadle style machines, with the foot pedal. So I would sew on that at her house, but I took I took all the home economic, everything in high school back when they still offered that kind of stuff. But yeah, I took sewing and cooking and all of those fun classes. So I learned how to sew back in high school.
And one of my favorite things, and you've mentioned Mike a few times, is just how supportive he is of all the things that you do.
He's part of the brand.
I love seeing what he's doing on your stories, and I love how much he likes sharing what he's doing with your audience. And I feel like we're seeing more and more and more of him, especially with all the things that you guys have going on right now. But just nice to hear, like, even him making that custom table for you to continue to do your craft so you didn't get antsy while you were recovering. It's just really sweet to see that you guys work so well together, and he supports that. That means a lot to a creative person to have that support. So it's just really cool to hear. Yeah. So
it makes a difference. Like, he'll go to the quilt shops with me, and he'll carry my bags, and he doesn't say a word about, he gets how much all the stuff costs, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't ever, say anything about it. Like, he's just there, and often he's helping me pick out fabrics, and it's just really sweet. Like,
it's really sweet. And he supports your business because you guys have products that you sell on your website, and some of those are products that he makes himself. So can you tell us what some of those are? Because I love seeing them, and I love seeing the behind the scenes of him making them and shipping them and everything too.
Yeah. The biggest thing has been over the last few years is our embroidery stands that we sell. So it holds the hoop so you can embroider hands-free or cross stitch, anything like that, that you put in a hoop that you're, doing handwork on. And so his background is construction, and he built homes for 30 years, but he is also very good at what he does. He's very meticulous. He does things right. He has a lot of integrity that way. Like, if it's got a little crack or the paint bubbles, like, he redoes things. He doesn't send anything out if it does not pass all quality inspections when he's doing that. But he's very particular, and he just pays attention to what I'm doing. And, like, if I have this idea and I say, okay, when I wanted the embroidery stand, I bought so many when I was looking for one for myself, and I could not find anything that checked all the boxes. I'm like, this would be great if it had this, or this, I need it to do that. And so he just took all of the ideas and came up with this stand. He's like, what about this? And then we made some tweaks, and he made another one. And even now we're still adding to it because I keep coming up with different ideas. My customers will sometimes ask a question like, could you make the stand do this? Could we? And I always ask him because he always has, so many ideas. And even if he doesn't immediately, if he thinks about it for a little bit, something pops into his brain. So yeah, he builds mostly the embroidery stands, but we also have, we have a laser engraver. We have two, actually. So we do a lot of things that are laser cut that people can DIY and hand paint themselves and put together to hang on their walls. So we have wall decor.
And you make like kits, right?
Yeah, we do all kinds of DIY kits where you can buy them. And these were huge over COVID, obviously. And that really, it kept us really busy because we could send out things that people could actually spend time doing and still be creative and making without having to leave their home. Yeah. So yeah, we still do the DIY kits, not as much as we used to. I just don't have as much time anymore to do the designing. And the embroidery stands are honestly keeping him really busy. But he fulfills all other orders that we have too for any other supplies that we have. Like, he does all the shipping. I call him the shipping manager. He does all the shipping. Customer questions about products, things like that, he answers those. Yeah. He usually won't email people. He just picks up the phone and calls them. So, yeah.
Oh, I want a phone call from Mike someday.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's got a few titles.
Shipping manager, contractor.
Love following the contractor.
Contractor's been here a lot.
You've been remodeling the kitchen.
Yep. He's also been the plumber, the electrician, and most recently, Sugar.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of controversy on your social media over the last few weeks. So Mike has a new title that I think many of us are embracing greatly. Missy, would you like to say what Mike's most recent, and I would argue probably most important now title is?
Sugar daddy. Well, yeah.
Sugar daddy. Yeah.
Maybe there's
Sugar
a backstory you want to share with that a little bit.
Yes. Being someone who's been on social media for as long as I have, and I've been building a following, and I have an amazing community of people. And I will say 99.9% of my people are absolutely wonderful. But we all have experienced the trolls, the keyboard warriors, the people that, just are, I don't know why. Because I could never be that person behind a screen being nasty to other people. And, everyone says that hurt people. And so, those comments are really hard. Like, you got to have really thick skin to do this. I heard a quote a while ago. Oh, and I'm not going to remember it. Something about loving your haters. Like, love your haters. And it really stuck with me. And I'm like, it's almost better to turn it around instead of getting angry and upset and hurt by these comments from people that don't really matter anyway. Like, it doesn't matter what they think or what they say, but they're going to say it, and it does get to me. Like, it does bother me a lot of the times, but I'm learning to just not let it. So I'm turning it around, and I'm not going to be bullied, and I'm not going to sit back and just take it from people. And so I've kind of started sharing some of that more publicly, but also, like you said, making a little bit light of it. And somebody had commented on a video on YouTube about my sewing space here. And it was something to the effect of that I would not be able to do any of this if I didn't have a husband who financially supported my hobby. And I was like, wow, okay. Because everything we have is what we've built with this business. We've been doing this since 2009, and gradually it has just gotten to the point of where it is today. And neither of us came from money. We don't have, rich families. Like, everything we have, we've earned, and we've worked so hard for. And so I just turned it around. Honestly, the comment made me laugh when I first read it. And then I shared it, and I was like, Mike, I guess you're my sugar daddy. And like, I am, so we made a joke of it, and then I shared it on Instagram, and it kind of blew up. Like, everybody thought it was so funny, and it's just turned into this running joke, and it's still going. And, my husband's had many nicknames over the years, and it's just funny because my brother was like, how did he go from Billy to Sugar? Like, because we're a racetrack family. We go to the races. My brothers both race dirt track, and we hang out with dirt track and race cars all summer long. And his nickname at the track is Billy, and everybody knows him as that. And he's like, how did this happen?
It's a long story.
It's a long story. Yeah.
I love it. I think I DM'd you something, or you guys were running to get something for the kitchen. And I was like, looks great. Tell Sugar Daddy I said hi.
Yep.
I just love it.
You guys, we've been out in public since, and people see him, and they're like, oh my gosh, Sugar. It's fantastic.
You had shared a book at the beginning of the year by Mel Robbins, The Let Them Theory. And because you shared it, I listen to it. I don't read. I have to listen to audiobooks. Right. But anyways,
still counts as
I know. Yeah, I don't have. Again, I can't sit still long enough.
Right.
But I feel like this is you applying that concept of just like, hey, people are going to say what they want to say. I can't stop them, but I can choose and control how I react to it. And so after you shared it and kind of made light of it, because I think it's good for people to see people handle those those nasty comments and snarky comments in a positive, graceful way. A lot of people don't do that and are reactive, and some people just delete it. But after you do that, do you delete and block, or like how do you handle it moving forward? Is it case by case?
It's case by case, and it depends on the comment and the commenter. If they keep going, I will absolutely block. I have no problem blocking and deleting people without ever saying a word. There are plenty of people on a daily basis I block and delete. I just block the comment, or I just delete the comment, block the person, and I move on with my day, because I can't deal with all of these people. And if they're going to be rude and mean, they don't need to be in my space. I just don't have time for that. And my biggest thing is these self-proclaimed quilt police that think their way is the only way and that people are doing it wrong. And the reason that bothers me so much is like, I don't care about myself. Like, I don't care if you tell me I'm doing it wrong. I don't want anybody to be deterred by somebody's comment like that. I don't want someone who's new to either sewing or a new technique, or they're finally doing something that has been intimidating them for years and they're brave enough to finally try it, and then somebody says that they're doing it wrong. That's just not okay with me. And I don't ever want the comment section of my posts to scare somebody out of doing something, because some people, like, it takes a lot for them to get up the courage to try to put in the zipper because they're scared they're going to do it wrong, or they're scared they're going to ruin something. And I encourage people to practice and just try. And none of us know how to do anything until we try. And we're not good at anything until we practice. I just don't ever want my comment section to scare someone out of trying. And so that's why I remove those comments, because there's just no place for them. They don't need to stay up. Like, I just figure the negativity just brews more negativity. And I've seen that happen when I have left the comments up. Then the other negative Nellies get in there and they keep tagging on to the one negative comment. And it kind of creates this spiral. And I'm like, no, we don't need any of that negativity here. And I just delete it. I just move on.
Yeah, and it creates a barrier to entry.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're immediately putting up a wall or a speed bump that someone's got to go over or climb to get to the other side. And we as sewists want to embrace people into this creative world, because as we talked about in a previous episode, creativity helps battle anxiety. It helps battle stress. So when you bring anxiety and stress into the process, all it does is dampen the flame. All it does is create barriers to entry. And it doesn't bring people into the mix. It actually deters people from entering the mix.
Some people, they really need encouragement and positivity to help keep them motivated and help keep them going, and to let them know that they can do anything. And I believe that about anybody. Anybody can do anything they want to learn how to do. It might take a little bit of practice and a little bit of trial and error. But there are no rules. There's no right or wrong way to do these things. And if you find a way that works for you and you enjoy the process, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if everything is perfect, and, just do it.
And I think there's a proper way to get, if someone says, instead of saying you're doing it wrong, you could say, have you tried this method before? It's another way to do it. It's an opportunity to teach and educate and enlighten someone who may have not known about that method or tried that method, instead of just shutting them down. So I think if people can just think before they type, and take a moment to go, if someone said this to me, would it upset me? It's just putting yourself in their shoes. I don't think they always mean for it to come off mean. I think context can be hard sometimes with typing, but there is a way to deliver helpful information. So instead of saying you're doing it wrong, you could say, I've tried it this way. Have you ever thought of it? Because then, it might be new to you or new to one of your followers, and spark a helpful conversation versus shutting people down.
It's there. It lingers. And people don't realize that their words matter and they stick with us. Even if we don't let it it's not going to ruin my day, but it's still there, and people just need to think about what they say.
I have a question. Is part of building this positive community what inspired you to create your membership?
That was part of it. I also was very burnt out from making my sweet little gnomes. I loved making the gnomes. I loved making all the things, but I could see a shift in the way people were purchasing, the way people were shopping, and I honestly didn't see how I could continue at the pace I was at. I was working around the clock so much, and I was getting exhausted, and it was also so much pressure all the time to do more and to make more, and I would always feel bad. And This is nothing I ever should have felt bad for, but I would sell out of a restock and people would be angry at me and I felt bad because they were mad.
Because they didn't get one.
Yeah.
Which is a good problem to have, honestly. But at the same time, I always felt bad that I was letting people down. And so it was just a constant battle. And I just knew I needed to do more as far as like giving back to the community and I wanted to do more teaching because I was getting so many questions all the time about how to do different things, which was why, I decided what else can I do differently? And, how can I take what I know and what I love to do and turn that into something else? And that's how the membership came to be.
So how long have you had the membership?
It'll be 2 years this June.
Okay. And so can you describe it or tell people what is involved in the membership, what it looks like, what they're signing up for, and what they get from it?
So we call it the Sewing Squad, and every month I design a new pattern is for my members, and then we have a class that can be used as a sew-along. It's a live class that I do on Zoom. You can attend it if you want to, but you don't have to. That's the thing. I use an analogy that I've heard said from somebody else, but it's like having ice cream in the freezer. It's there whenever you want it. You can have a little bit, you can have a lot. You can leave it sit there for as long as you want, and you could still go back to it and have more whenever you're ready. There are no requirements with this membership. You can make whatever you want. You do not have to do each monthly project. You don't have to watch all of the classes. But I put them, on our website so people can watch them whenever they want to, whenever they have time to do things. It's meant to be a creative community where you can come, have a variety of patterns to choose from, make what you want. We also have a private Instagram page. I share a lot of behind the scenes stuff, kind of give them the inside scoop on things. Like they've seen parts of my kitchen nobody else has seen yet. There is one part I'm keeping secret until it is done. But my members have seen it. Anytime I release a new product, they get early access. They get a 20% discount on my website on everything all the time, all patterns, everything. It never expires.
And the patterns that you make for your membership are exclusive to your membership. Like no one else can get them unless they are in the membership, right?
Right. So
that's really cool.
So we have that. We have, like I said, the private Instagram page, and it's just a great community of people. They're just so kind and so sweet. And there's a community page where people can share their projects with each other and they can talk as well. And it's not on Facebook. None of it's on Facebook. It's all on our private community website.
And so is it always open to join the membership?
It's always open. And I forgot to mention, I also do like an Instagram live once a month. And I kind of leave it up to the members. Like, what do you want to talk about at this live? Like, is there something you want to learn, or is there a technique you want me to show you? And so we do different things every month. And then I also have a giveaway every month where I give my members coffee on me. That somebody wins a gift card to the website. So, and if I ever do any product releases, they always get first dibs. So if I get something new, whether I'm making it or whether it's something I'm stocking in the shop, they always get first dibs. So some things never even see my public website because my members buy them all first.
Yeah, and it's cool to create a space that is like the loyal fans, but they like get to work with you directly. They get to do these live Zooms. I'm sure ask questions along the way.
Ask questions. I give them a lot more one-on-one help and assistance. During our live class, the chat box is open and they can be on camera if they want. They absolutely do not have to be on camera. They can type a question in the chat. And I'm always happy to go back and show something over or, re-explain something, whatever they need. So if they need a little bit more one-on-one, with a zipper, I'm happy to do that.
I think a lot of people would love to have access to someone with your knowledge to be able to ask questions, because a lot of people don't have that resource in their community, or they would prefer to stay home and do something like this virtually. So I feel like it gives you the opportunity to reach a lot of people in a really special way and you've made it personal, which is hard to do virtually, but you have.
It is hard to do, but and I feel like I have such a great connection with so many of the members that are in there. We chat all the time. I'm constantly in that DM inbox, answering their questions, helping them out, just chatting about whatever, They're just so many great people in there.
What's your favorite part about your membership community? Like, what's the favorite part that you do every month?
It's the community part. It's just the
Yeah.
people that are in there and just having this group and being able to make something for them. Like, I'm always so excited about what we're making together. So it's just fun, and it's something I look forward to every single month. Our new pattern, our class, like, it's just I just really love it.
Do you have a different type of sewing that you do from month to month, or is it always kind of the same type of sewing? Like, because I know you do a lot of different things, right? So is it niche to something specific, or do they get exposure to all the things you do?
We make all kinds of things, from home decor. This month we're making a really cute crossbody bag. A couple months ago I made a mason jar caddy for keeping by all the things by your sewing machine. I've taught them how to make my gnomes. I've taught them how to make birds. A lot of my stuff that I've never released to the public is inside the membership. So a lot of my own personal patterns for things that I made. We made a really cute banner for Easter. So it's all kinds. It's always changing. I want to make sure there's enough stuff in the membership for everybody. You know, not everybody doesn't always like the same thing. So I just want to have a really good variety and different things that I can share with them.
And so if I were to join your membership today,
Yeah.
would I have access to the previous patterns as well, to be able to make past stuff as well?
You would. Yep.
Oh.
You would have access to everything that's in there.
I'm curious how your day, you put out an insane amount of content.
You do.
Between stories and reels and YouTube and your membership. The amount of patterns and content you churn out is incredible. What is your day like? What does a typical day look like for you? Because are you batch filming? Like, how are you putting out all that incredible content?
I don't batch anything. And the thing is, okay, I claim that I love to be a planner, and I do, day by day. But as far as like, I couldn't tell you if I have a pattern coming out in May, because I haven't figured it out yet. In fact, I have a quilt pattern that I've been working on since January that I still haven't released, that I really want to release. I think the original date I said, not the original, but the latest date I said was April 15th. I have to get better at having like an actual schedule, but this whole kitchen project has gotten in my way because we're so close to having this remodel done, and I want it done so bad. I mean, if you've ever lived through construction in your home, especially in the kitchen, it's the worst. And the end is so close. So now, like yesterday, I worked on the kitchen. We were grouting tile and doing, So my day-to-day, it all depends, honestly. I never have batched my content because I am a very, share in the moment person. And sometimes that's when my best ideas come to me, was when I'm in the middle of something. And I'm like, ooh, this would be a great reel. And then I make it. I don't know. I've tried the whole batching thing and I just can't do it. So one of my goals with my channels and my social sites is to I keep things very real. I am a very real person, as far as I can't lie. I've never been a good liar. I can't say I love something that I really don't love. I could never be that person. I just can't do it. If you see me wearing this on film, chances are if you see me in public, I'll be wearing this still. You know what I mean? I love the things that I get to share here. But keeping it real is just something I do. And so that's why so much of what I do in the content I create is in the moment. I come up with the idea and it's well, I'm going to make this right now. So sometimes that disrupts my days, because sometimes I like to think I have a really solid plan, and then all of a sudden I'm making a reel and it's been 2 hours and I'm like, shoot, I should be writing that quilt pattern. But there are times where I'm definitely better at keeping myself on track and sticking to a schedule. But as far as the content goes, it's just, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants most days.
It's working because we all love to watch it and consume it.
Thank you.
And I think today's episode is our Spool School segment. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. In a change of pace, Bethany and I are not sharing our tips. Missy is going to share her tip. So what do you have for us today, Missy?
My tip is really to just do what brings you joy, and to not worry about perfection. Do not worry about the rules, because they don't exist. And if you are doing something in a way that makes you happy and it's easy for you, then that's what you should do, and not worry about what anybody else thinks about your technique, your stitches. We don't worry about perfection. Finished is better than perfect. And anything you do is helping you make progress, and continuing to practice those things. And yeah, the first time you sew a zipper in, it might be a little bit wonky, but the second time it will be a little bit less wonky. And the third time it'll be even better. And so I just want to encourage people to just keep trying and to not give up, especially if the first time it doesn't turn out great, because I can tell you, the first time I did a zipper, it looked terrible. We all still screw up all the time. And that is why that's something else that I often will share are my mistakes. Because I want people to know, like, I'm just a real person, just like everybody else. And even though I've been sewing for a long time, I still mess up. I still pull out my seam ripper all the time. And that's the biggest thing, is your seam ripper is your friend. Give it a name. Mine is Jack the Ripper. Some people thought Jack was short for Daniels, but no, I'm like, nope, just Jack the Ripper. If I started drinking Daniels, I don't know what that sewing would look like. But so just don't be too hard on yourself. Don't worry about making things perfect, because nothing is ever perfect. Nothing.
That's such a good point. I mean, sewing is supposed to be fun. Like we talked before, it's supposed to be a stress reliever. It's supposed to be enjoyable. And yeah, it can be challenging at times, but that's because you're learning something new or trying something new. And, if it's not the right moment to do it, like, know when to walk away and take a break. But it should be fun. And just know, like, you have Missy, you have Audra, you have myself, and a lot of other people in the sewing community that want to see you succeed and want to help you. And Missy's membership would probably be a great place to start if you need help and want to try some new things and learn some new things. So I teach a lot of techniques in there too, like different techniques, like different ways to do zippers and different ways to make pockets. And this month we're making that crossbody bag that I had mentioned. And something I'm going to share with people is, well, what if you wanted it to be a different size than what the pattern calls for? How to do that? Or maybe you don't want it to be crossbody, you want it to have handles. Well, I'm going to show them in the membership how to do it that way too. So it's about giving options, and for people just trying new things and just not being afraid to just try something different. To wrap things up, not that I want to, because like I said, we could sit here and chit chat all day, but we always wrap up our episode with a "you love to see it." I'll let Missy, if you have a "you love to see it," if you want to go first.
I do. The one, and I've been paying attention to a lot of, I pay attention to a lot of things that I don't necessarily always talk about, but I'm still paying attention. And, there's a lot of ick in the world right now, a lot of things happening. And, I don't bring that to my socials, because I've promised my followers we're going to keep things positive and light. And I always want my space to be a place where people can come for joy and positivity, and none of that negativity is going to be living there, So we don't talk about the hard things, politics, religion. We don't bring that to the page, but I do pay attention to all of those things. And, I've been watching what's going on with tariffs and how it's affecting businesses. And what I really have seen a lot of this week, especially, is makers supporting other makers and women supporting other women, and the small businesses banding together to talk about what does this really mean for our businesses and what is this really going to look like. And I don't know if you guys follow Emily Lay, the founder of Simplified Planners. She's phenomenal as a businesswoman anyway. Like, she's just a great follow, a great person. But I mean, the way her people are banding around her in regards to these tariffs right now is just an incredible thing to see, because what this could potentially do to her business is devastating. It could ruin her. And what she's built is nothing short of amazing. And so I love to see people grouping together and helping each other and supporting each other and just doing everything in their power to make things better,
I couldn't agree more. And there's so many uncertainties on that topic, and we could probably talk a whole podcast about it, but by the time it airs, things will change, and that's the thing, is it changes every day. So to see that the community's coming together to help each other figure it out, the community is coming together as it always does. In any moment that we go through, we always have challenges in this creative space that happen. And so it's just really nice to hear that like people are coming together. I'll definitely have to go give her a follow because I'm here to learn and support each other. So I love that you'll love to see it. Well, Audra, what is yours?
Well, it's funny because mine dovetails perfectly on yours, Missy. Mine was supportive friends in the creative space that notice when you're trying and give you like their advice, their support, their likes. You don't necessarily even have to buy something from your entrepreneurial friend. It's sharing them, liking them, commenting, boosting them in the algorithm.
Yeah.
And so I had a friend message me the other day on social media and was just like, hey, quick tip on your reels. This is a setting that you should change because Instagram flags this. And I've noticed that I think yours includes it. And like, when you're trying really hard to put out quality content and it doesn't hit, and you're like, but this was so good. Why didn't the people see it that I wanted to see it? So when someone you don't realize is paying attention tells you they're paying attention and they're seeing the work you're putting in and gives you advice on how to improve even more, it means so much. It means so much to know that you've been seen and that someone supports you to take the time to send you a message to help you continue to improve.
Yeah.
That is invaluable. And so it's liking your entrepreneurial friends' posts, supporting them, giving them advice, being there for them. It just, for someone to take the time to say, I see you, means a lot.
It's validating.
Yes.
Well, my you love to see it actually has to do with all three of us. For what I'm talking about is we have a group chat and the group chat is leaving the group chat and actually meeting up in person to sew together for a fun, chill girls weekend of sewing and hanging out and watching movies that we've learned that Missy hasn't seen yet.
I'm all for it.
We're gonna have so much fun. I'm sure we'll make content together and do all that too. But I just am so excited because there's just so much value in connecting in person with people that you follow, people that you love and support, and to just get to have that quality time in person. I'm really looking forward to it. So November feels really far away, but at the same time, I know it'll be here quickly. And that weekend's going to fly by because we're going to have so much fun.
I know. I don't want to wish away the summer because I live for summer here. Like I live for it. Audra, you know that, right?
Wisconsin and Minnesota summers. I was just telling you this, Bethany. Wisconsin and Minnesota summers are perfection. And that's like, so we deal with all the winter because of summer. But then, part of the reason I can't imagine living somewhere where you only really had one season.
No.
Because I love all four seasons. Like right now, the trees are budding. And every day I go out and look, I'm like, oh, that bud's a little bigger. Like, hi, little guy. I talk to my plants. I totally talk to my plants because I want them to feel my love. So judge me all you want. I talk to all my plants.
It's okay. I got really excited yesterday when I saw that my tulips were popping through the grass. Like, like I was jumping around outside. Yep, same.
I would say that, I have all four seasons here in Tennessee. When I lived in Florida, we definitely didn't, and I did miss seasons. But in Tennessee, we have the seasons just like the winter is a lot milder, and the summer is just hot and humid. But after just getting back from Wisconsin and it was snowing and sleeting, and then I had left Tennessee when it was 80 degrees, and I had already packed up all my winter clothes. So I had no coats or anything. I just was winging it with sweatshirts. I got back and I got off the plane and the sun was shining and it was like 72 degrees. And I was like, oh, I could thaw out.
The sun's shining and it's like 40 here right now.
Same. It's beautiful. It's going to be
stunning.
Nice. But Bethany, the time to visit is Minnesota and Wisconsin is definitely summer and fall.
This has been
so
wonderful. Fun. Yeah, I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and we would love to have you back. I feel like we just scratched the surface. If you have any questions for Missy, please leave it either in the comments on our YouTube video or over in our Facebook group, The Social Sewist. We'd love for you to continue the conversation after the episode ends. Of course, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can watch the episode and see our lovely faces over on YouTube. And be sure to follow us on Instagram, The Sewcial Hour Podcast. Again, Missy with the little green bean, thank you so much. Go give her a follow. We appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you so much.
Coming up next week, you're going to get Audra and we're going to be talking about making for others and the emotional journey that you go on when deciding when and when not to make for others. And we kind of dive into it. It's a bit of a hot topic. We're excited to share that with you next week. So tune in and we'll see you then. Bye, everyone. Happy sewing.
Bye.
See ya.